Hello and welcome back to EASD TV. One of the great pleasures of sitting in this studio is being able to chat to the winners of the prize lectures. And I'm delighted to be able to introduce you to Professor Gerald Shulman, the winner and giver of this year's Novo Nordisk Foundation Prize Lecture. Firstly, hello, and secondly, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a huge honor to have this prize lecture. And I know that you're going to talk about mitochondria, something that you've worked on for the last 4 decades. Tell us, what was it that first attracted you to this particular aspect of diabetes?
Well, it's really to understand the molecular basis of insulin resistance. So insulin resistance it certainly is what leads to type 2 diabetes. It's always been my goal, but beyond that, insulin resistance drives the development of fatty liver disease. Insulin resistance is driving cardiovascular disease. Insulin resistance is driving obesity-associated cancers, and it's probably also driving Alzheimer's disease. So if we understand the molecular basis of insulin resistance, we can not only fix and treat diabetes, but we can also hopefully treat all of these other maladies.
And you, as I say, you've dedicated 4 decades of your life to this. What have you discovered during those years, and what were the breakthrough moments for you?
Right. So it's probably understanding that ectopic lipid, it's lipid inside the cell, the insulin responsive cells, liver cells, muscle cells, that triggers insulin resistance. And we've gone on then to identify the lipid moiety. It's these diacylglycerols. It's the penultimate step in triglyceride synthesis. This triggers novel protein kinases that actually block the insulin receptor kinase. And so then it becomes a concept of reducing ectopic lipid, and that then is a simple energy balance problem, energy in, energy out. This is why the incretins have been working so brilliantly in humans, because it's the energy inside of the equation. We've shown that caloric restriction reverses type 2 diabetes through reduction in ectopic lipids, especially liver fat, reverses insulin resistance.
But you're looking at the other side of the equation.
And now, on top of that, we're trying to say, can we increase energy expenditure in the cell by promoting mitochondrial inefficiency, making the mitochondria burn more fat inside the cell, reduce these diacylglycerols, and reverse insulin resistance.
And of course, the next question is can you make the mitochondria less efficient? How do you do that?
Right. So mitochondrial protonophores, this goes back to Mitchell, who discovered the chemiosmotic hypothesis from how mitochondria work to generate ATP. He postulated and showed that protonophores, like things like dinitrophenol, dissipate the proton gradient, and so the mitochondria have to burn more fat to maintain the proton gradient to generate ATP. So this is basically the approach we're using, and what we've shown, there were issues with toxicity of uncouplers, and we've gone on to understand what this toxicity is. You know, Paracelsus said this 400 years ago, that the poison, all drugs are poisons, it's all about the dose. And so it turns out that the pharmacokinetics of protonophores, you get toxicity somewhere around 300 to 400 micromolar, and all you need to rev up mitochondrial fat oxidation is about 3 to 5 micromolar. So that's a huge, almost a 500-fold therapeutic window.
Hormesis, isn't it? As the smaller, the larger the dose, the poison, the smaller the dose.
You avoid the peak levels and the toxicity. And all you need is very low levels to promote fat burning 24/7, and that's sufficient. And as I said, we've documented we can dissociate the toxicity, promote ectopic lipid burning in liver and skeletal muscle with this protonophore approach. And so we've initially started with liver-targeted protonophores, so it was a kind of a prodrug that would go to liver. The CYP system would cleave off the group where the phenol is and make it an active compound, and that was a way of liver targeting the protonophore. And we showed this improved the therapeutic window maybe 100-fold. And then when we did the PK, we showed that all you needed again were these low levels, and that led to the second generation, a controlled release mitochondrial protonophore. And we took that mouse, rats, non-human primates, showed safety and efficacy. And now we're working with a company, OrsoBio, which I'm part of, where we've developed novel scaffolds, non-DMP scaffolds, and have a series of compounds that are 40 to 1 liver versus periphery, 20 to 1, 10 to 1, and showing safety and efficacy. And the first compound is now in phase 2 studies in humans, showing safety and efficacy, which we're quite excited about.
It's a fantastic journey that you've gone through. I mean, what made you go into this area in the first place? Because you've obviously been completely hooked.
Well, I've been interested in, my father was a primary care physician, diabetologist, and I think I had early exposure to diabetes, going on house calls with him, going on hospital rounds, and actually going as a camper in a camp for diabetic children where he was the physician. So I had exposure to diabetes at a very early age as a 9-year-old, yeah.
It's been an extraordinary journey for you. Yeah. And what comes next? What's the next phase?
Yeah, so thank you for asking. So it's basically watching the development in this, taking hopefully these protonophores to the clinic. That will be then the ultimate goal.
That's the cherry on the cake.
That would be the cherry on the cake. And then showing not only will it treat insulin resistance, but all of these other maladies. And to me, we've never had an agent that was really safe and effective at reversing insulin resistance. And I believe we should be treating insulin resistance like we treat hypertension, like we treat hypercholesterolemia. And if these, again, hopefully these agents will show safe and efficacy, which we're now seeing in humans. And we see insulin resistance in young, healthy 20-year-olds. And so I think we should be treating, again, with a safe and effective medication, insulin resistance to put off not only diabetes, but these other maladies, fatty liver disease, obesity-associated cancers, heart disease, and Alzheimer's.
It's a fascinating prospect. Thank you so much for coming to talk to us. Professor Jerry Shulman, who is the winner of this year's Novo Nordisk Foundation Lecture Prize. So do go and listen to it online. I know that you'll find it enormously insightful and actually really a paradigm shift, perhaps, in the way that we think about treating some of these conditions. You'll be hearing more from EASD TV very soon. Bye for now.